Welcome back to a We Talkin New York Podcast, episode number 4. And yeah, it took us a while to start recording this, but we're back, and a lot of stuff has happened since we've last recorded. But first off, Brian, how you doing? How's the weekend? How's married life
Maddie,
going?
welcome back. I missed you a lot, even though I've seen you multiple times. It was good. Busy weekend. Busy weekend for sports, New York sports, um, sports domestically across the United States. We'll get into it. I'm excited. Let's do it.
Yeah, so like you said, a lot of stuff has happened in the last since we recorded. Um, so why don't we start with the big news that happened with the Islanders? The Islanders has signed Patrick Waugh to sign. I'm saying sign like he's a player. No, they hired Patrick Waugh to the team and fired head coach Lane
Thank
Lambert.
God.
And honestly, as an Islander fan, I am very happy with this. Yes, the team did not really do as good in the first 2 weeks he's been a coach. So the team didn't really do as good as we hoped. But honestly, that first game against Dallas on Sunday was super electric, and I was so happy to be there. But then ever since then, the team has kind of just been doing what they've been doing.
Yeah, so I was at the Knights game on Tuesday last week, Tuesday, and of course they
Yeah.
lost. But it's good to see that they are not afraid to make some changes, especially mid-season. I know it's kind of weird. It's a weird dynamic, no matter what sport you're in, to kind of transition to a new voice in the manager or the head coach's seat mid-season. But the Islanders needed it. Lambert was just not. He was no good. I think that they were looking for him to try to like carry on the Barry Trotz like legacy, and it just wasn't working. And so I think it was a good move.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. It's like with Patrick Waugh, excuse me, sorry. With Lane Lambert, you were right. They thought he would continue the Barry Trotz like legacy with the Islanders, but in reality, he didn't. You would think he would have because he worked under Trotz for so many years beforehand, but for whatever reason, it just seemed like the players just did not respond to him, especially in this year. I mean, you saw some players like either defend him or not defend him. I mean, Casey Zizekas was the only one that stepped up and said something about the fans booing and saying for him to be fired and stuff. But honestly, we all saw what happened with that. Like Casey got some backlash for that comments, and it ended up Lane was fired. And um, with that being said, I'm very happy with Patrick Waugh, regardless of how it is right now. We are into day one of the All Star break with some teams still playing right now, but the Islanders are done at least till next week. But give Patrick Waugh the like this full week to really settle in and look over some film, figure it out. I mean, we saw in the videos with practice and stuff that like he's whistling at players and he's like bringing this energy that the Islanders have not had probably since like the Doug Waite era, and that was a very short-lived era, unfortunately. Well, no, unfortunately, he was not that great of a coach as much as I loved him as a player. Um, but just seeing how the energy is around the team right now, it's something else. And honestly, I'm very excited for the second half of the season coming out of the All Star break, and we'll see how it goes. You never know because you never like. There's some teams that just are at the bottom of the league, and they just somehow turn around, aka the St. Louis Blues in 2019.
Yeah, plus they're giving him enough time to try to get things in order before the trade deadline too. So if they really do need to either pull the plug or go for it, there should be enough reactionary time there to kind of make the right decision going forward.
Yeah, no, I mean we were talking about it last night at your father-in-law's place, and we were saying that um Patrick Watt, God, I forgot the thought though. Well, basically, it was more so like with Lane, it was we didn't really expect anything this year. I feel like a lot of us thought we were going in. Um, who knows? But now it feels like I said before, it's like now we we what to expect is now like you want a winning team, but with Patrick Watt, I feel like it's going to be different now. And even for next year, like, if you're not looking for this year, looking for next
Yeah,
year as well. But there's still a ton of time this season. And the, the Islanders just need to turn it around a little bit. And I remember the thing I was trying to say before, and I completely botched that before. The thing we were talking about was Lou was the one that built this team. Now Patrick Waugh has to use what he has and make the team better with, like I said, with the people we have. And now Lou has to go out and get, whether it's new guys, old, young guys, old guys, whatever. Mainly you want to make this team younger because this team is very old.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
not very old. We're still generally young, but like we still have some veterans on the
yeah,
team that in my opinion, can definitely be replaced. But yeah, so we were talking about last night, and we were saying that like Lou is the one that built this team, and now Patrick Waugh's got to coach it. And just like you said, with the trade deadline coming up, there's going to be, you got to see who's going to be available, who they're going to trade for, and who will they trade. And honestly, I think me and you talked about it like off camera before. We said Matt Martin should either be traded or just, sent down basically. I don't think he's going to be really traded because what does Martin have to offer besides like his fighting ability? Like in the last 2 games, he's just not been skilled at all. Like he's been so out of it. My hot take is, do the Islanders trade Anders Lee? And honestly, I'm gonna say I hope they do because I get it, he's our captain. He's the one that took over for John Tavares when he left. But I've been saying for years, and I have many people that probably are gonna listen and vouch for me, say the same thing that I've been saying for years, that Anders Lee is not really a good hockey player. And that's just because he loves to get in the battles, and he had that 140 goal season. Everyone like loved him for that, but like in my opinion, especially watching him on Saturday, he just was not in the game whatsoever. I think he was ready to go for break and like did not really show me anything that he is like like worthy of staying here. So I think I said it's a hot take, but in reality, I mean, I don't see the Islanders trading him, but I'm not gonna keep that off the table. So
yeah.
we'll see with that. I see people coming with Pierre Engvall saying he's not doing so well, and I agree with that. Pierre Engvall kind of seems like he's kind of fallen off a little bit, so we'll see what Lou does with him. But really, I don't know. I don't think I have any other trade things. We can probably talk about that more when the trade deadline comes up. So if you have any other comments with
I
that.
mean, yeah, I would imagine that um, it's a similar approach to what you would look at in like a regular baseball season, where like if you're getting to that point and you know that there's a team out there that wants to win and they're willing to kind of overpay to get a piece to help them. Um, if I'm the Islanders, you kind of look to like fuck over a team. Like hey, like I have Anders Lee here. You kind of dangle it, and if there are like multiple teams that are desperate to try to add another piece, they may try to outbid each other. Maybe offer something that's a little bit um, high in terms of an overall return. I don't know. Am I wrong with that?
Mhm.
I'm just speculating here, but maybe
No, you're on the
there's
right
a
track.
two teams that get into a bidding war, and next thing you know, the Islanders are like, damn, either like we can hang on to them, or like we pull the plug right now and we get a tremendous package back for our future. It's definitely something that you have to consider, I would think.
Yeah, it's like you can use Anders Lee probably mainly for draft picks right now because Anders Lee is still relatively young, and he's still a force in front of the net, and the Islanders don't have a lot of players that can just stand in front of the net and be that guy that's not going to move. But at the same time, bouncing Lee from the first to the second line consistently is not really good for line chemistry. So yeah, and with the whole thing with the bidding war, it's like it's not as common as it is as in baseball as in the hockey, um, but it can happen. So I don't think you'll see like a bidding war for like Lee, but like you'll find that for a lot of players in this upcoming trade deadline, especially like with some teams probably looking at the Toronto Maple Leafs, and with the Leafs, they have people where they have signed contracts, but now it's like, what are they gonna do with like that fourth guy? They just signed William Nylander to like a huge contract. They locked up Marner, and obviously Matthews is gonna be there for a little while. So now what are you gonna do with like Tavares, and what like he's gonna be into his contract year next year?
Damn, already?
So my idea, yeah, I know, right? It's
That's
been
been 7 years,
fucking 8 years
7 years,
already,
8 years. Jesus.
7 years, yeah, yeah. So I brought up a little point to one of my friends. Shout out to David. What do the Leafs do with Tavares? And honestly, I think they have to really, really consider just letting Tavares like go somewhere else or give him something very like small, not a huge contract extension, but maybe like a hometown discount type of
But he'd
thing,
have to take
because
that.
he's yeah, he would have to obviously take that, but that's if he wants to stay with the Leafs because everybody knows the whole drama with the playoffs with the Leafs and stuff
They're,
like that.
they're
But
terrible, right?
mainly, yeah, they're
Garbage.
terrible in the
Yeah.
playoffs. Probably going to be a first round exit again this year. And my thought process with the Tavares situation is if the Leafs let him go, I think they would be fine because his numbers right now are just not good.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, he had like 1 goal in like 20 games, but he's like fourth on the team in goals. I think he has like 12 goals or something. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, but regardless, it's still not a lot for what you expect from him. But with that being said, to circle back to the Islanders, um, I don't think this. Let me clarify, I don't think the Islanders are going to sign or trade for Tavares. I just think I said that if they were going to do that, the whole bad blood thing would have to be like put aside and like really consider, would Tavares be a good asset for the Islanders again? And in my opinion, this is just like my opinion type of thing here, not like speculating anything. But in my opinion, I think he would be like kind of good on like our second or third line. Just like put him where he was back in before he was signed away. I think he would be like kind of a good like just good little scorer right there. Like another, I don't think he'll be like the way he was before he was before he signed away, but I think it would be like a little interesting welcome back type of LeBron type of shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's New York. They still fucking hate his guts. So it would be interesting, though, especially if they put him in that position. I think, um, I don't know, Lou. I think Lou is on the hot seat next. So any moves that he makes going between now and the end of the year, or now in the trading deadline and then the trading deadline to the end of the year, I think that really is going to determine if he's even back next year. So, um,
I want to just say one thing. I'm gonna disagree with the Lou on the hot seat with you right now, only because I think the firing and the hiring of Patrick Lane Lambert and Patrick Waugh, I think that might have helped his case just a little bit. I
well,
think
yeah, he needed
with him
to.
hiring a brand new coach.
Yeah, I mean, the ship was sinking, so he just added another. I don't have an analogy. I really thought I did, but yeah, I mean, I think he bought himself. I think he bought himself a little bit of time. I think that like
Mhm.
if he didn't fire Lampert or Lambert, whatever the fuck his name is, Lambert. If
Lambert
he
with
didn't,
a B.
yeah, but if he didn't fire him, I think that obviously his seat is on fire, the loose seat. Not he's not on the hot seat. I think it would be on fire. So I think he bought himself a little bit of time, but I just think that like I don't know. I feel like the owners like Ledecky and Malkin that they bring this they had all those winning seasons, those 3 or 4 consecutive winning seasons. Lambert comes in, doesn't really do a great job in the year and a half that he was head coach. Like they're in a brand new arena, like they want to win for their fans. I think that like at this point, Lou saved himself at least temporarily, but I think the next few weeks are really going to play into whether or not. I mean, he's old too. What is he, 82, 83 years old? Like you also have to consider that you really
Yeah,
don't
he's
know
he's up
you
there.
don't know how much longer the dude's going to be able to do this for anyway. So like I think the next few weeks are going to go far into deciding like his fate, how he kind of carries the team through the rest of the first half into the deadline, and then how they perform the rest of the way.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, I agree that Lou maybe he's definitely bought himself some time, but there's still work that needs to be
Yeah,
done. That's basically the moral of the story here. So I guess we kind of spent a lot of time on this, but Patrick Waugh, great hiring. He's a fiery guy. You know, you could hear him up in the 300 section. Let's just see how the Islanders do coming right out of this All Star break. Good luck to Matt Barzell in the All Star game. Um, you know, and hopefully he, you know, gets some good playing time. The All Star jerseys are absolutely horrifying. They are ugly. They're
that
terrible.
bad,
But let's quickly, yeah,
that
I
bad.
mean, you gotta see them in person next time you go to the
Okay.
game because like seeing them in the store is awful. But let's talk about the Stadium Series jerseys real quick. So off the record we talked about, but let's talk about on the record. Isles won. First thought, go.
I'm iffy on it because I see what you're saying. It's like that, like older, like retro-y kind of like street style look. Not what I would have gone for personally. Um, I had every
Mhm.
intention on purchasing a Winter Classic jersey, but then I saw it and I was like, "Ooh, I don't know if I would buy that." So I'm kind of iffy on it because I've been thinking about this. I get what you're saying with it. I just don't think it's worth me paying for it.
Yeah, so what I was saying was off camera, so he knows what I'm talking about. I thought it's a pretty nice jersey. Well, let me back that real quick. It's an okay jersey. It's enough that I like it. I don't hate it, but there's also like it hits me sometimes different ways. So so moral of the story, I like the jersey. I did have intent to buy it. I think it looks very modern, but it looks like a lot of jerseys. I think people have saw this already. It looks like the Smashville jersey from the Stadium Series years ago. It looks like the Oilers jerseys already almost the same color. I think just today they released the backstory to the jersey itself. Um, but yeah, I do have an intention to buy it, but I think I'm gonna wait till after the game when it's pretty much kind of half off there. There's no reason for me to get it before at $200. I'm not gonna get it till March anyway. So I think that whole thing NHL completely botched this with releasing it late, and this should have been like in December
So
or
this
something
is
because
something that
a month before the game is
so
stupid.
the Islanders come up with the concept, or the NHL comes up with the concept for the Stadium Series or for the Winter Classic.
It's really Adidas. It's really
Oh,
Adidas. Adidas comes up with the concept for it.
so it's
Islanders has to
so it's
approve
like
it,
those
and like so does the
so it's those
NHL.
City Connect jerseys basically for hockey.
Pretty much, yeah.
Those are terrible too.
So, all right. So we do have another New York team that is playing in the Stadium Series against the Islanders. The Rangers have been looking pretty good. They've been back to their winning ways. They're winning games that I did not think they would win, to be honest with you. Like we said, I'm not going to try to be informational here, but the Rangers are fucking good again, and they're back. I still believe they're gonna win the Metro now. I don't really have a doubt in that. My whole theory with the Islanders coming in second, who the hell knows at this
Yeah,
point? But Rangers are sick, and their Stadium Series jerseys are meh.
they're
I thought
just as bad as the Islander ones.
I thought they were like, yeah. I mean, they're like, I didn't hate them. I didn't hate the Rangers. I like the idea of the MYR, but it hits me
It's
weird.
not
Like I like the Islanders one more.
like the Knights and the Kraken are doing, or they did a Stadium Series, right? They did like a winter.
They were the Winter Classic. This is the
Okay,
Stadium
so
Series.
I liked those jerseys better than I like this set of jerseys. And I
Yeah, which usually happens. Sometimes the Winter Classic ones come out better than the
Yeah, but that's
stadiums.
see what the problem with that is you're doing the Stadium Series in the largest market on the face of the earth. How do you
Mhm.
botch those jerseys?
I
Like
mean, we were talking about
we
it.
shouldn't be having this conversation. These jerseys should be fucking awesome, and they're not.
Yeah, no, I mean, back in 2014, those jerseys were awesome in both teams. Even the Devils ones, like those ones were all three were like I would say my personal opinion were really nice. This one, it's like, all right, you have people literally commenting saying it fucking sucks and stuff like that. But I mean, there's other fans that do like it, and I'm one of them. And with the Ranger one, I think they took a little more time and really thought about it. And I don't hate those, but I don't love them. And the Devils ones, those are pretty simple. I think they look pretty good. I like those a lot. And the Flyers, I'm like, oh God,
The
I don't really
Flyers.
like those at all. But yeah, but the Islanders and the Rangers, Islanders one, not bad. Rangers one, not bad. Um, I That's a very unpopular opinion for both fan bases. Um, so yeah, Stadium Series is what, February 8th, I think, or
Uh,
I think feel like I'm botching that.
it
It's
is
definitely
the eight,
definitely February coming up.
18th, 18th. I think it's the 18th. It's the Sunday after Valentine's Day. Oh,
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday, the 17th and the
yep,
18th. The Flyers will play the Devils, and the Rangers and Islanders will face
yep.
off at MetLife Stadium, and that's gonna be fun. I haven't decided if I want to go to that
I'm
yet.
going.
Um, Brian will
I will
be
be
in
there.
attendance at
I will be
MetLife,
there all the way
and
up, higher than the stadium goes. I'm gonna be sitting on the roof.
I think the one thing that is nice, and me and David, my friend David, we were talking about this. Um, the numbers on the jerseys I think are perfect size, and so does he, because we think when you're all the way up, like where you're going to be, you'll be able to see the
Yeah,
numbers and you'll be able to tell, like, oh, that's Martin, oh, that's Barzell. I think that was a very smart, and in the last couple of years of the Stadium Series, they've been doing that. So I think that was very smart. But well, little segue here, since we're talking about uniforms. Brian, so this is going to be something I know you wanted to talk about. What the hell are the Mets and the Yankees? What the hell are they doing with their jerseys?
yeah.
Why don't you fill us in?
So the black jerseys, the Mets ruined the black jerseys. The black
I
jerseys
agree.
have, I have one. I should have worn it, but that's fine. So like they took the white outline or like trim off of the letters. I don't know why. I don't know
Yeah, the
why.
trim.
Like
Yeah.
I have it here. I have a hat. Like what makes and what gives. Sorry, don't mind my desk. It's a disaster. What gives this hat the definition and the complexity is the blue with the white and the orange outline. Without the white, it
Yeah.
doesn't break up the blue and the orange, and it's just smushed together. It looks terrible. And now they did
Mm-hmm.
that on the jerseys and the hats, which is garbage. The
Mm-hmm.
Yankees one, I think it's the same thing, but I also don't. I don't mind the Yankees one as much as I mind the Mets one, if that makes sense, because I feel like black is such a harsh color, whereas the Yankees have like the
Yes.
gray with like the blue. But even like again,
Yeah, the Yankees gray, I think, is their road
yes,
ones. I don't mean to
no,
interrupt
it
you. I'm
is,
just
it
saying
is, yeah,
it's their like main road
yeah,
ones. So the Mets only wear their black ones on like Friday
yeah.
nights, but like the Yankees ones could be more noticeable without that white trim. So
Yeah,
continue your
no, I
thought.
mean it gives the Yankees the look that they had back in the '70s, I guess maybe even the '80s. I don't mind again. I don't mind it as much, um, but as far as the Mets ones, I literally hate that. Like I love the black jerseys. Like I remember watching, like my favorite, like Matt offhand. What's your favorite Mets team, like year wise? Just
Oh man, 2015.
okay. So
Honestly,
mine's '06, right?
that year was electric. That's fair enough. I mean,
So so
all right. So let me clarify that, because like I love the 2015 team, because that team was just electric. But like dating back to my earliest years of like being a Mets fan, like '07, '08, those years were just fun. Like going to games to
yes.
Shea with my dad and stuff.
So
So like early years, like those jerseys and
yes.
stuff. So
So
continue.
my favorite Mets team was the '06 team. That was the first year I got into it. It's the first year I fell in love with it. And just watching
Mhm.
like Beltron and Wright and Delgado hit absolute nukes in Shea Stadium with the black jerseys, I was like, fuck, those are really, really cool. And then I feel like they did a disservice by getting rid of the white lines. Like I'm trying to think now if they
Yeah,
had the white lines back then. I don't even remember, but if
I think
they
they
did,
did. I
I
feel
feel
like
like
that
they
was like
did.
I feel like that's a pretty well-known thing that, yeah, I think they had the white line. It's like a Mandela effect. You don't even
Yeah, like
remember.
they just I just think that I don't know. It just looks copy paste. I'm not a fan. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. No.
I think it's just weird though that the Mets are taking the white trim out of their jerseys, but then the Yankees are at the same
I
time.
feel like
Like, what why is that
I feel
related?
like all of the teams are starting to like even the Nationals, they did a full reset of all of their jerseys. Which I don't
Yeah, we talked about that off camera. Like, the Nationals are completely rebranding their jerseys, right? They're making it, like, more modern, I would say, rather than their usual look. But my biggest pet peeve with the Nationals right now is that they're getting rid of those cherry blossoms, which are very nice. I can't believe they're getting rid of those jerseys. Um, don't know why they're getting rid of them. I guess maybe just they're overused, they
yeah.
thought. But yeah, they are completely rebranding their home and their ways, and I think they have gray ones too. So I don't know why all these teams are just like completely rebranding their jerseys. I think the Diamondbacks, aren't they going like with more
They have the
teal?
white.
Yeah. So anybody that's listening to us on Spotify, YouTube, you can go, or Spotify, Apple Music, excuse me, can go to our YouTube, and Bryan showed a picture of it. If not, you can go obviously look it
Yeah,
up. He showed a nice picture of Mike Piazza
my
there.
boy.
Great
Fucking love
choice.
Mike Piazza. It's my favorite player of all time.
I believe that's my mom's favorite player as
Oh,
well.
I ruined it. um, yeah, a lot
Sorry,
of
mom.
yeah. Sorry, mom. Sorry, Mama Oliver. Yeah, a lot of teams are doing this. I like the Marlins are doing. The Marlins have changed their jersey more times than they have years of existence. It feels like. Like the Marlins have
Yeah,
rebranded like
definitely.
37 times. Which I don't.
Are they going back to the Florida? Are they going back to the Florida
I
Marlins
don't.
look?
The
No,
look,
right?
yes, I kind of the like that vibe, but like not the name. They
Yeah.
had to be the
Yeah, they're still
yeah, they
Miami.
had to be the Miami Marlins in order to get the stadium funding.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to change that back. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. The Yankees one looked really weird to me. It hit me weird, but the Mets one, I was trying to like it, but
Yeah,
like now that like us talking about it, I hate without the
I
white. It looks
can't.
stupid.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess that's enough
Well,
with the uniform talk. And why don't you want do you want to talk about the Blake
yeah.
Snell thing?
So, stadiums, fuck jerseys. Mets are getting a City Connect jersey this year, so we will have to talk about that.
Oh, I did
Yeah,
not know
I
that.
believe so.
Okay,
I saw a
great.
couple
I
of they dropped like little like sneak previews of possibilities on Twitter. I can't find it anymore, of
uh
course, so maybe it's just me. Maybe I was just cracked out or something. But um, they were super sick. There was one dark blue with like gray on top and like the outline of the city, and like we'll have to go into it. But yeah, Blake Snell. Now we'll
yeah.
transition to more interesting, relevant topics. So, did you see this the other? I saw this on Twitter today, maybe. I don't know when it happened officially. The Yankees offered Blake Snell 6 years, 150 million, and his agents came back with a 9-year offer for 270 million dollars.
Listen, Blake Snell's a great pitcher, but I don't think he's worth that
You
much
would
money.
categorize that as great. I'm just that like
I
I mean
mean, it's
I
Blake Snell. He could still throw a ball. Like, that's more than
yeah
what Max Scherzer and Jacob DeGrom could do. So,
Well, yeah, yes and no, right? But here's my thing, and I've gone into this rant before about Blake Snell, so I'm not going to do the whole thing. I think it was episode 2, maybe I did it. I don't remember. But Blake Snell has had two exceptionally I'll call them historic because anytime you win an award like a Cy Young award, it's a historic season. So we'll categorize it as historic because he won a Cy Young award, and not a lot of guys get to do that. So he had two exceptional seasons where he won the Cy Young award. Other than that, he has been very, very inconsistent. He's either been really, really terrible, and like it's just been a beach ball coming out of his hand, and dudes are taking him 500 feet, or he's been like, holy shit, look at this guy. I don't think the Yankees or any team for that matter. Well, I guess for topic of this conversation, we're really just talking about the two that are here locally. The Mets and the Yankees should not divulge this at all. It is a horrible, horrible idea. For the Mets, when they have so many question marks in their starting rotation already, add somebody who wants 30 million plus every single year. And this is kind of like the Yamamoto thing we were talking about too. The dude never pitched in the major leagues before and he wanted $30 million a year. For the Mets to turn around and add Blake Snell, who in reality has only had 2 great years, it's a bad idea. He's gonna want so much money. Like he's gonna want more than David Price got, and I don't even think David Price deserved that contract. He's gonna want more than Scherzer. Like he's gonna want potentially just as much as Garrett Cole, if not okay, a little bit less. I just think you stay away from this one if you're the Mets. Kind of just go for it at this point. I mean, you really have nothing to lose. If you're the Yankees, why not add like a Jordan Montgomery who's going to be a little bit less, or offer Snell $80 million for 2 years and see what happens. Get that money right off the books, but let him maximize his value. But I would not go any length of time more than like 4 years, absolute max for him, because I just don't think he's going to win. I don't think he's going to put up 4 Cy Young caliber seasons. I think you're going to get one really great season potentially, and then just mid rotation, back of the rotation production the rest of the way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Mets should just offer him something, maybe not to that extent, but just something that could get their starting rotation a little bit better. Um, and then with the Yankees, I think you're right with the Jordan Montgomery idea, or it's just somebody around that area, because the Yankees are kind of well known for like either getting a pitcher to be really good or they can be really
Sonny
bad.
Gray.
And I think you need to take the chance. Yeah, they need to take the chance with Montgomery or anybody really, get that pitcher to turn around, and then just like you said, the Mets just need to just throw something at him and
Yeah.
just see what happens, because obviously the Mets rotation needs work
Yeah.
right
So
now.
Montgomery's pitched in New York before. I know he wasn't as. I know he left and kind of unlocked more of a potential, but the dude's handled New York before. Um, and while we're talking about Yankees and pitchers, I can't believe they signed Stroman. Like, how the fuck did that happen?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh my god, I can't believe we
we
skipped right
we
over
talked
that.
about that
Yeah,
too.
no, he that was we
We
did
talked
talk
about
about
that
that, and I would say we predicted it, but we definitely talked about it,
because
and that might have been,
Cashman
I can't believe
Cash
it.
wanted no part of that. Brian Cashman was like, "Yeah, we are not dealing with this at all." I don't like Marcus Stroman. I don't like Marcus Stroman.
I don't think anybody
Like
does.
Marcus Stroman on Twitter, he's the first one to go out and just talk shit. That's all he does. And then if someone's like,
Yeah.
"Bro, you gave up like, let's say he had a bad start." He's like, "Bro, you gave up 8 home runs. Like gave up 8 runs in 2/3 of an inning." He's like, "All right, blocked. You're a
Mhm.
hater." Like, dog, you're pitching in New York.
Yeah.
This is not
He's
Toronto.
literally he's literally the he's literally the Jamal Adams
Yeah,
of baseball. The guy just talks this so much shit and tweets about it, and then as soon as it comes down to the time that you need to like put up, just doesn't do anything and he gives up bombs or gives up big plays. So
yeah. And
I think the Yankees signing Marcus Stroman might be super like really dumb, and it's gonna backfire. I feel I just have something bad is going to happen this season with Marcus Stroman, where it ends up he's just takes a leave of absence or something, or just he's not on the team for a good bit because of something either on Twitter or something off the field. I'm not wishing that
yeah,
against anybody. I
but
wouldn't wish anything bad. I want him to, I
it's
respect
his.
games, so I want him to play. But like, it's just his
He's so
attitude. We saw it with the
he's so
Mets.
self-centered. Like it's a team sport. Like he was never an ace in Toronto. So like remember when the Mets traded for him? They were like, "Hey, we've traded you to New York," and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to the Yankees," and he's like, "Nah, you're going to the Mets." And then all the reports came out that he started throwing tables and chairs in the clubhouse because he wanted to be a Yankee. Like,
I thought he was a Mets fan.
yeah, me too, which I don't understand. And he's like, "Nah, none of that was true." It's like, bro, everyone said it was true. Like, there were people in the clubhouse that were like clapping and
Even your parents said it
they
was
were
new,
holding the
like,
door for you to leave because they were so
true.
excited for you not to be there anymore. Like, I just think he's toxic. He's just one of those dudes. He's like more than anything, especially. And now listen, like the Mets, we all know Met fans and the Mets. They're like, what's the? I don't. They're not as how about we'll say formal as the Yankees structurally, I guess, with the
Yeah.
haircuts and the attitude and like
Hmm.
there there's no way that that dude isn't going to create problems within the organization if he acts the way that he's been acting. You need to like
Yeah. No,
if
without a
there's
doubt.
ever an organization that you're going to be a part of where you need to be an adult and you need to handle yourself like a professional, it's the Yankees. And that's not a
Yeah.
knock against the Mets, but the Mets have been a complete clown show clusterfuck for since 2007. Like they just have. It's truth. Even like look at what's happening with Cohen. Like they're just they're the Mets. Like it is what it is. That's why we love them. But if there's ever a place where you need to hold yourself accountable and be accountable for how you perform, it's it's in the Bronx. And I don't know if he's got enough self awareness to hold himself to the standards that are. I don't know if he has enough self awareness to hold himself to the standards of being a Yankee. So he's going to need to prove that not only to the fans, but to the organization too.
Yeah. No, like 100%, because like the way the Yankees are run is like the way Lou runs the Islanders. Like, clean shave. Everything's kept tight within the organization, like, news leaks and stuff. And the Yankees are not gonna tolerate any bullshit he puts out, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on the field, off the field,
Yeah,
whatever. They're not gonna
not
tolerate
at
it.
all.
The Mets, it's the Mets didn't I don't think they really cared.
I think
So, we'll see how the signing
The
goes.
Mets had so many other distractions though at that point, it didn't even matter. It was like whatever. It is what
Yeah,
it
there
is.
was so much
Yeah,
shit going
it is
on.
what it is.
It did. But yeah, so we'll see how the signing goes. We don't really like it. Um, but the Yankees did need something in
They
their
did.
rotation. I guess they thought that's what it was, the
Yeah.
answer. But it's been a while since that signings happened, and I don't think we need to go really any further with that. But I think we're good on the baseball. So if you have any other topics with that,
No.
then I think we're
Other
good.
than what would be funny though? If the Mets signed Jordan Montgomery, then because keep in mind, Harrison Bader was traded for Jordan Montgomery 1-for-1. So the Mets could technically win that
Yeah,
trade 2 years later.
yeah. 2 years later.
Literally. But yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Um. Yeah. Quickly I want to just say something about the Knicks, because I know we were gonna try to not talk so much about that, just because of with our knowledge, but we're gonna try getting better with it. But for now, I just want to say the Knicks are fucking amazing, bro. Ever since that trade, they have picked it up so much, and they are just like unstoppable. They just won tonight, which I forgot who they were playing. I think they were playing the Hornets or something. But they're just unstoppable. OG Anobi is dominant. Like every time I'm watching a Knicks game, he is just always there. His defense is impeccable. His offense is insane. I haven't heard too much about RJ Barrett and who was the other one? I
Oh,
believe I'm blanking on the name. No, but quickly was it quickly?
Amon quickly.
Um,
Iman quickly. Oh, Manuel.
Emmanuel
Yeah.
quickly was I believe it was
I
him. Yeah, so I haven't really heard
terrible.
about them in a while. Then it's the Raptors traded their other star, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
But regardless, the Knicks are insane right now. The Nets are still struggling, unfortunately. Um, I really don't know what to say about the Nets. I don't even want to talk about them. They're just either win or lose, honestly, at this point.
Yeah.
I believe they just lost to the Jazz,
Well,
or no, they beat
well,
the
you know what's
Jazz
funny?
actually. But regardless, the Knicks are insane.
Yeah. So remember, I said about we talked about that trade when it went down. So I said that the only way the Knicks would make that trade, and this is coming from somebody that doesn't know a whole lot about basketball, but I know who RJ Barrett is, and I know how important he was to the Knicks, or
Mhm.
at least to the Knicks' plans. The only way that that trade would make sense is if they were getting players back that were going to. The only way that trade would make sense is if the Knicks were getting players back that would fill holes and also make the team better all at the same time. Clearly, I was right. Fucking genius. And another quick thing, because you talked about the Nets. Remember, we were talking about how the Nets needed another superstar to build around, and how Durant was miserable here because Kyrie was here, and that was the only reason why he wanted out. And I thought they should trade the pick. I
Yeah.
thought that they should trade the picks or some of the picks that they got back to the Suns for Durant, and maybe it would make them better or whatever. We were talking about that. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah,
We talked
yeah.
about this off camera, candidly last night. So there was a tweet that went out, and some guy posts, hey, Net fans, would you like to see the Nets put up a video tribute for Kevin Durant when he comes back? So Durant comments. We talked about this last night. Durant comments, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, I think I think the game would be better if you just didn't do that." So
Can you
I just think
imagine
that pours cold water on my trade proposal of reacquiring him to come back to Brooklyn. Um, so
Yeah, that's not gonna
yeah, he
happen.
doesn't want to come back. So I was wrong on that one, but I was right on the Knicks trade, and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, so yeah, like we said, the Knicks are absolutely dominating. They are now in 4th in the Eastern, right behind the 76ers.
Yeah,
Um, they are 5.5 games back at first, I guess, but they are insane. And like I said, I want to get to a game one day, but that's as much as I got for them.
cool.
We mentioned the Rangers. Nothing's really going on with the Jets and the Giants right now, so that's okay. Um, Shout out to the Riptide for getting 2 wins because they're just not good. Honestly, that's that box lacrosse team at the
Yep.
Coliseum. Um, and so why don't we talk about the Chiefs and the 49ers. I'm
Briefly,
blanking
yeah,
tonight. I'm sorry. I
yeah,
apologize
yeah.
for that. But so congratulations to the Chiefs and the 49ers for making it to the Super Bowl
Yep.
this year, going down in Las Vegas. I hate the Chiefs right now. I am so tired of it, but it is what it is. I'm excited for the Super Bowl. It's going to be a great game. I was rooting for the Ravens and the Lions, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Lions for making it as far as they did. Making it not making it for that long is, awful. As a Jets fan, we know, but
So
congratulations to them and to the Ravens.
yep. So I saw a stat today because everyone was kind of giving Dan Campbell shit about going for it on fourth down twice and missing both times, and like hindsight, obviously, you kick both field goals, you win the game by 3 points. Okay, well, okay. But this season, on fourth down, he went for it 20 times, and they converted it 17 times. They converted
Yep.
17 of 20. So statistically speaking, they had a better shot at converting it than, I guess, not converting it based on this. I don't know. They had, statistically speaking,
Turning it over on
yeah, they
downs.
had a
Yeah.
better opportunity. I do think they probably, obviously, again, I think, um, I know we're running out of time here, but I think, especially in the playoffs, you probably should be a little bit more conservative. I think it's a learning moment for Dan Campbell. I just think in that scenario, like, knowing how good the 49ers were, knowing what you were playing for, and knowing that every point matters in the postseason, maybe you take the field goal opportunities, or after you miss the first time, maybe you kick the second time, if that makes sense. Like, yikes, we already fucked this up
Yeah.
today. Let's not fuck it up again. But the Lions, man, like that, to me right now, that's it. That Matt Stafford for Goff and picks trade, that's a win-win on both sides. I think. Like, Lions fans have a lot to look forward to, especially going into next year. Like, you can't map out a trade any better than one team winning the Super Bowl and one team being a perennial Super Bowl contender for the next 4 or 5 years. So I think that trade was probably a pretty good one that worked out for both sides. I know the Lions came up a little short, but they're going to be an exciting team next year for sure.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think the Lions are gonna be fun next year. I can't wait to see what they do. I think they might take it as far as they did again, hopefully to the Super Bowl. They were a fun team to root
Yeah,
for. I have to
they
admit,
were.
as it they were fun. I was telling some other people about the Bills. I like the Bills. The way their fans just are. towards that team. They're just electric. So I was kind of rooting for them too a little bit. I know we don't really talk about the Bills that much on here, but like,
They're
you know,
Canada's team.
like the way that team, yeah, the way that team just was, it was kind of fun to watch. But regardless, we'll have a little, probably have a little more in depth next time. Next time we're on the pod, I'm sure we'll be recording before the Super Bowl. So congratulations to the Chiefs and the Niners once again. Like I said, it's gonna be a great game. We got the Pro Bowl coming up before that. And as a reminder, we got the NHL All-Star game coming up, which is a fantasy draft this year.
Ooh.
I don't know if you remember. I remember the fantasy draft was like years ago. I forgot what year it was, but I remember it. But I remember it, and it was fun because all these teams, your team, you play on the team that's in the West. So that I thought that was cool, and I think it's gonna be exciting. I don't remember the skills competition, so I'm not
So
gonna stay what they are right
they're
now
they're
because
mixing
who
they're
knows?
mixing the conferences together
Yeah, they won't be
or
conferences. It's
whatever
gonna
it
be
is,
like team
and they
captains.
just get to pick down the line.
Yeah, that's gonna be like yep, exactly.
Ah, that's confusing as
So it's gonna be fun. I think that'll be cool. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this episode. Do you have anything else you want to talk about
no.
with New York
No,
sports?
I think that's pretty much it. Mets re-signed Ottavino. I just thought about that now. Um,
Yes, they did.
yep,
I don't hate it. I don't
yep.
love it.
A
I
lot
don't
of
hate it.
people are kind of talking shit because he left a little bit of money on the table, but he had a good point. The reason why he opted out, a lot of uncertainty about the Mets, what their future was, who their manager was going to be. Plus 2 million of that contract was deferred, so he wouldn't have gotten that payout anyway right away. So he figured, ah, fuck it, let me test the market. But I'm glad he's back though. Um, adds another
Yeah, me too.
adds another vet. I wish they re-signed David Robertson, but obviously that didn't happen. I really like David Robertson. I thought he was really clutch. Um, and he netted them.
I have a random question with you because I'm blanking
Okay.
on it. Who's the Mets manager right now?
Uh,
Do we have a
yeah, it's
manager?
Carlos Mendoza. He was the Yankees bench coach.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, I was blanking on that for some reason.
yeah, I don't. Hey, like, I'm more than welcome to give anyone a fair shot who wants to take a crack at this. I think there's probably no. I mean, this might be a little, but I don't think there's a harder team to coach in New York based on expectation. Not expectation. Well, I guess. I mean, listen. I feel like the Yankees.
I know
The
what you mean.
Yankees are
Yeah.
probably easier to manage because the Yankees are just built like that lineup is fucking like Boone's in autopilot right now. He just gotta like. I mean, these guys don't even build the lineups. The lineups come from the analytics department. So all Boone really needs to do is just show up and hand out the lineup card and get ejected. Like, and he's great at doing that. And like, so I think for the Mets, I'm hoping that this is the beginning of with Stearns in place and Mendoza in place. I'm really hoping that this is the beginning of a consistent era of Mets baseball where um, they start to really bring up their young talent, develop as a major league squad, add the pieces necessary, and then kind of proceed forward. Fans, be patient. Like, give David Stern some time to work. Give him a little breathing room. He's not going to come in and drop another $1 billion on payroll in his first offseason. He's really got to build some depth, and I think he's done a great job at that. So, hopefully, Mendoza just needs to make sure that he's not making jackass moves like Luis Rojas did. Like, that's pretty much it. Like,
Yeah.
that dude was just lost. So, um, yeah, I'll give him a chance. I'm more than willing to give anyone a chance. I think I'm one of the most patient Mets fans there is. Like, fuck, what do I have to lose at this point? Why am I going to get myself crazy? They suck every year, and then they have a really great year, and they break my heart. So, just be patient with him, and we'll see how this year plays out before judging him. Give him the whole season, and then judge him.
Yeah. No, without a doubt. But yeah. So I don't think I have anything else for us for this
Fantastic.
episode. We tried to keep it a little bit shorter this one, and I think we
We did a good job.
10 minutes shorter. We did
Well, I mean,
decently.
usually we're at like an
Um,
hour 10, so 49 minutes is pretty good.
yeah. So, um, make sure everyone who's listening is listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much everything, the whole shebang. We're on YouTube, so make sure you go watch us and subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all that. And we'll be back next time. Any final thoughts, Brian?
I'm good. Good luck to Barzell at the Vegas is hosting the All Star game and the Super Bowl.
No, the All-Star game is in
Oh,
Toronto,
oh,
and then
all right, close enough.
the Super Bowl is in Toronto.
Close enough. Close enough. They're practically right next to each other, so I was sort of right.
Practically
Yeah,
next to each other. I think they're
yeah. No,
completely
no, no. It's fine. It's fine. They're right there.
yeah. So not only Barzell, we're forgetting the other team that we have. Vincent Trocheck and Igor Shesterkin
Shesterkin.
are going to the
Yeah,
All-Star
fucking
game.
Shesterkin.
Shesterkin is
Let's fuck
going.
shit up, bro.
So good luck. So good luck to them too as well. I'm surprised by the Trocheck. I guess he's having a good year. I'm not saying I guess because he is. I don't know why I'm saying I guess, but he is having a great year.
Yep.
So good luck to them as well. So those three All Stars, good luck. We'll be rooting for you guys. And why don't you give us a closing line, Brian?
Uh,
Perfect.